Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I know why you are clicking on this video. I truly do. You've successfully escaped the devastating storm that was a narcissistic relationship. You've put in the grueling work of healing. Maybe you've even gone completely no contact. But then the inevitable happens. You see them with the new person. And that new person, that so-called new supply, looks absolutely ecstatic. They look thinner, richer. Maybe they got that promotion you always wanted. Or perhaps they just seem to possess an impossible level of patience you never could muster. Suddenly, the relentless trauma bonding starts whispering those familiar, cruel lies in your ear. Were they truly better than me? Was I the problem all along? And that, my dear viewers, is exactly the lie we need to dismantle right now. Because the narcissist's new supply is never truly better. They are just currently fulfilling a role that is inherently unstable, and we need to understand the mechanics of that deadly substitution to finally find peace. But before we break this down any further, I want you to take a long, slow breath. Yes, right now. Let the tension drop from your shoulders. Unclench your jaw. I know you're watching this with your heart pounding and your hands may be trembling a little because the pain still feels very real. And that's okay. You're not crazy and you're not alone in this space. We're going to get through this together. It is a deeply painful experience when you watch the person who destroyed your self-worth instantly switch gears and begin love-bombing someone else with the very passion and devotion you craved, but which they claimed they could not give you. It feels like a punch to the gut when you see them wearing the sweater you bought them, smiling at someone else in a park you used to walk in. You can almost smell the air in that photo, and it suffocates you. The extravagant vacations, the sudden surge in public affection, the declarations of finding their soulmate just 6 weeks after they discarded you like yesterday's trash. This feeling of being utterly replaced by a superior model is a core mechanism of the narcissist's post-discard manipulation. They thrive on the knowledge that you are watching, comparing, and suffering. That glossy external presentation is not a reflection of genuine happiness or growth. It is a meticulously crafted performance designed for two audiences: to hook the new victim and, more importantly, to crush your residual self-esteem. Let's be brutally honest about what the new supply actually is in the eyes of the narcissist. They are not a partner. They are merely a utility. They are a renewable resource brought in to refill the gaping, bottomless void within the narcissist's soul, a void you exhausted yourself trying to fill. When you were with the narcissist, you had reached the stage where you started setting boundaries, questioning their irrational behavior, or demanding accountability, and that made you inconvenient. You became the old, broken toy. The new supply, however, is a pristine, packaged commodity, untainted by the prior failures and emotional baggage. They come into the relationship with high hopes, maximum energy, and a willingness to overlook the initial red flags because they are currently experiencing the intense, addictive rush of love bombing that you once received. The illusion that the new person is better often stems from the fact that the narcissist will mold their new partner into the exact version of the partner they wished you had been, or perhaps the version of the partner they claimed you lacked. If they accused you of being too boring, the new supply will suddenly be forced to become an adrenaline junkie. If they criticized your lack of wealth, the new supply will instantly become a status symbol the narcissist can parade around town. But understand this: this forced persona is unsustainable. The new supply is merely an actor reading a demanding script written by the narcissist, and if they deviate even slightly from the role, the entire production collapses. They are not truly better. They are just currently conforming to the narcissist's highly specific, temporary needs for external validation and mirroring. a phase that always, without fail, runs out. You might be watching them and thinking, wow, he's taking her to the Maldives. He never took me anywhere that nice. Or, she finally convinced him to start therapy. I spent years begging him to get help. This isn't evidence that the new supply is better at loving or fixing the narcissist. It's evidence that the narcissist needs to upgrade the bait to match the current stage of their public relations campaign. They learned what you criticized them for, and now they are performing the exact opposite behavior to silence you, the old supply, and convince the world that the problem was, in fact, you, for not motivating them correctly. They are weaponizing these perceived improvements, not for the sake of the new relationship, but purely for the sake of reputation management and triangulation. The core, fundamental issue we must remember is that the internal mechanics of the narcissist remain fixed. They are stuck in a developmental stage characterized by profound emotional immaturity and a fragile, false self. Regardless of how beautiful, smart, or wealthy the new person is, they cannot change the internal script the narcissist runs on. The cycle is predestined: idealization, devaluation, and inevitable discard. The new person is currently in the idealization phase, basking in the artificial glow. You, however, had the misfortune of reaching the reality phase, where you saw the truth behind the mask, and the narcissist punishes anyone who sees their genuine, pathetic vulnerability. The new supply has not yet earned the privilege of seeing the monster beneath the charming exterior. Their time is coming, and it is a guaranteed feature of this type of personality disorder. Think back to those early, dizzying days when you were the new supply. Weren't you treated like royalty? Didn't they shower you with gifts and attention, promising you the world? That wasn't because you were the one. It was the standard love-bombing protocol used to overwhelm your natural defenses and hook you in deeply before the mask dropped. The difference between you and the new supply is that you escaped, or were thrown out, after the mask had well and truly slipped. The new supply is simply living through the highly choreographed opening scene. Give it time, and they will receive the exact same critique, the same gaslighting, and the same emotional neglect that drove you to the brink of insanity. Their superficial improvements do nothing to alter the narcissist's core inability to form a secure, authentic attachment. I remember talking to someone who was so distraught because her ex, a covert narcissist, had suddenly married a woman who was a highly successful neurosurgeon, something the narcissist had always subtly criticized my client for not achieving. The narcissist suddenly posted about their shared love for classical music and their intellectual debates, areas where the narcissist had often dismissed my client's interest as too shallow. This felt like the ultimate betrayal, that this new person was intellectually superior. But here is what happened 6 months later. The neurosurgeon was desperately trying to navigate the narcissist's incessant demand for public praise, constantly having to abandon her busy schedule to attend meaningless social functions the narcissist insisted upon, simply to show off her title. She wasn't better. She was just a more valuable trophy, and the pressure of being a trophy is far more exhausting than being a human being. The new supply serves as a massive distraction for the narcissist. When they are focused on acquiring, molding, and showing off a new partner, they don't have to face their own inner emptiness. This is why the love bombing is often so exaggeratedly public and dramatic. The narcissist needs continuous external validation to stabilize their fragile ego, and the higher the status of the new person, the bigger the ego boost. If the narcissist is using the new supply to flaunt their improved behavior, like being sober or financially stable, it's a performance born out of desperation, not true commitment. They are using the new person's reputation or resources as a temporary adhesive for their shattered self-image, and the new supply will inevitably feel the weight of having to maintain that perfect facade indefinitely. It is crucial for your healing to distinguish between genuine growth and performative compliance. You might see the new supply appearing to handle the narcissist's drama with incredible grace, perhaps never arguing or always agreeing immediately. You think, "I should have been more agreeable." But what you are witnessing is not strength. It is likely trauma bonding or extreme fear manifesting as compliance. They are terrified of losing the initial idealization phase and are walking on eggshells, adapting their entire personality to avoid the slightest displeasure from the narcissist. They are sacrificing their authenticity, their preferences, and their needs to maintain the fragile peace. You, on the other hand, chose self-respect and boundaries, and that is why you are free today, while the new supply is already starting to build their cage. The narcissist places immense, unbearable pressure on the new supply. They are expected to be flawless, providing uninterrupted adoration and meeting every unspoken need. The narcissist often tells them stories about your relationship, where you were the abusive or crazy one, setting an immediate standard for perfection. The new supply believes they must succeed where you supposedly failed. This relentless pressure cooker environment is what defines the relationship. They might have a better job or more attractive features than you, but those assets become liabilities, used by the narcissist to justify why the new supply must endure increasingly poor treatment, simply because their status makes up for it. The devaluation phase, the inevitable turning point, usually begins when the new supply shows the first sign of being a real, flawed human being. Maybe they get sick, or perhaps they have a bad day at work and can't focus their entire attention on the narcissist. When they fail to maintain the impossible pedestal, the mask starts slipping, and the cruelty begins. The narcissist doesn't shift immediately. It's a slow burn, characterized by subtle insults, neglect, and withdrawing affection. This is the moment the new supply starts experiencing the familiar confusion, doubt, and overwhelming anxiety that became your daily reality. And trust me, the narcissist will use your history as a blueprint for the new person's destruction. One of the darkest tools the narcissist employs is the weaponization of your past trauma against the new partner. The narcissist often tells the new supply details of your struggles, your emotional outbursts, your despair, your breakdowns, and twists them into proof that you were mentally unstable. This acts as a chilling warning. If you act like the last one, you will be treated like the last one. The new supply becomes doubly trapped, knowing that if they complain or show weakness, the narcissist will instantly label them as just like the crazy ex. This paralyzing fear ensures the new person stays silent longer and endures worse treatment than you might have, simply because they are trying desperately not to become the next cautionary tale. All of this theory might make sense to your mind, but your heart may still be pushing back. And that's human. Healing from this kind of wound is not a clean, straight line. There will be days when you feel grounded and strong, and other days when you find yourself crying again after seeing their photo. Please don't punish yourself for still feeling the pain. Knowing the truth gives you direction, but your nervous system needs time to walk its way out of the forest. We have to remember that the narcissist cannot achieve genuine, sustained happiness. Their pursuit of supply is not about finding love or companionship. It is a desperate search for internal regulation. No matter how incredible the new supply appears, they are incapable of fixing the narcissist's inherent inability to self-soothe or experience empathy. A luxurious vacation or a beautiful new partner offers a temporary high, but the underlying emptiness returns, demanding ever-increasing levels of stimulation and validation. This eternal dissatisfaction is why they always look for the next source, ensuring that the new supply's tenure, no matter how shiny it seems now, is always time-limited. Therefore, the new supply isn't better. They are simply a different configuration of bait chosen to serve the narcissist's current narcissistic injury or ego requirements. Perhaps the narcissist was publicly criticized for being irresponsible, so they find a hyper-responsible new partner to project an image of maturity. If they needed financial assistance, they find someone wealthy. They are chosen for specific, superficial traits, not for who they are as deeply valued individuals. You were chosen for your empathy and light. The new supply is chosen for their utility value. When that utility value is diminished, their fate is sealed, regardless of how superior their external attributes might be. I remember another instance where the narcissist, known for their financial irresponsibility, suddenly acquired a highly successful CEO as a new partner. They started doing public philanthropy, donating large sums, and talking about ethical business practices. Everyone, including the discarded partner, thought, "Wow, this CEO is influencing them for the better." What was actually happening was that the narcissist had convinced the CEO to set up a joint foundation where the narcissist was drawing a massive, untaxed salary disguised as operating costs. The new supply wasn't better at reforming the narcissist. They were merely more effective at funding their delusion and enabling their financial schemes. Once the CEO discovered the truth, the discard was swift and brutal. The inherent instability of the narcissistic relationship is its signature feature. It is built on fantasy, projection, and control, lacking the fundamental pillars of mutual respect, emotional intimacy, and vulnerability. These traits are terrifying to the narcissist, who views genuine intimacy as annihilation. Because the new supply is still being idealized, they are kept at an emotional distance, admired purely for the surface attributes they bring to the table. They are a decorative piece, not a confidant. That lack of true connection guarantees that, regardless of the outward appearance of stability, the whole dynamic is fundamentally rotten at the core and destined to fracture under the slightest pressure. And here is where the concept of triangulation truly harms you. The narcissist doesn't just want the new supply. They want the new supply to be seen succeeding where you failed. They will often intentionally leave crumbs of information or post targeted updates knowing you will see them, using the new supply as a living, breathing comparison tool to drive home the message that you are inferior. Recognize that this is calculated abuse designed to pull you back into the emotional fray and distract you from your hard-earned healing. Every perfect picture is a weapon aimed squarely at your emotional recovery. Do not let them succeed in getting you to play their toxic game. Many people also focus too much on the perceived resources of the new supply, their looks, their money, their status. They think, well, they are clearly more attractive/richer than I am, so that makes sense. But the reality is that the narcissist sees those resources not as gifts to be cherished, but as assets to be consumed and eventually resented. The narcissist doesn't love the new person's wealth. They love the things the wealth can buy them. They don't love the new person's beauty. They love the reflection of success that beauty provides them in public. As soon as those resources begin to diminish, or the new supply requires the narcissist to reciprocate, the mask will shatter and the abuse will begin, proving that these external traits offer zero protection against the narcissist's cruelty. Instead of focusing on what the new supply has or is doing, I urge you to radically shift your focus inward. focusing intensely on your own recovery. You are watching a theatrical performance, but you are not in the audience. You are the one who has successfully left the theater. You are free. You are now dedicating your resources and emotional energy to authentic self-discovery, to building real bonds, and to finding genuine peace. The new supply is spending their energy navigating landmines and performing for a demanding audience of one. Who is truly winning this situation? The person desperately trying to please their captor, or the person walking toward the sunshine of genuine freedom? You must understand the profound difference between your current reality and the new supply's illusion. You have the freedom to be authentic, to make mistakes, and to heal without the constant, crushing judgment of the narcissist. The new supply is trapped in the cage of idealization, forced to maintain an emotional and physical perfection that is unsustainable. Their relationship is a gilded cage. Yours is an open road. Your escape proves your inherent strength and clarity. Their arrival proves only their current susceptibility to manipulation. Ultimately, the new supply is experiencing the exact same script you went through, just with a different costume and perhaps slightly different special effects. The dialogue is the same, the plot points are identical, and the ending is already written. They will feel that same confusion, that same slow burn of devaluation, and that same gut-wrenching realization that the person they fell in love with never actually existed. The narcissist doesn't change their core methodology. They simply change the actor when the previous one becomes too worn out to perform their role properly. Your job now is not to feel jealous or inferior. Your job is to feel profound empathy for the new supply, knowing the inevitable pain they are heading toward, and immense gratitude for your own liberation. You survived the unmasking. You know the truth, and the truth is the most powerful shield you can possess. Use your insight as motivation to strengthen your boundaries and to permanently close the door on any temptation to re-engage or compare yourself to the person standing in the line you just escaped. You are better off, you are healthier, and you are far more deserving of genuine love. Remember this: your healing is your greatest revenge, and your peace is your victory. The narcissist and their new supply are stuck in an infinite, miserable loop. You are not. So, stay strong, continue working on your boundaries, and never, ever look back with regret or comparison. You are not just okay. You are thriving outside the destructive gravity of that relationship, and that is a far greater achievement than any superficial display they could ever manage. Tonight, when you finally put your phone down, I want you to do one small thing. Go look in the mirror and really see the person standing there. That person has survived an incredible storm, and they're still here. The new supply may have a carefully curated version of your ex, but you have the real version of yourself back. And that is something a narcissist can never own or take away. You've already won, even if it doesn't fully feel that way yet. If this video helped you shift your perspective, give it a big thumbs up so others can find this vital information. Leave a comment below telling me one thing you're focusing on for your own healing journey right now. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more empowering content, and share this video with anyone who needs to hear this truth. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next video.